Hi, everyone. Thank you and welcome to the call today. We're brought together to discuss the Accessible Cinema Technology Best Practice Guide. And a special thank you to Tioni for jumping on. I know it's your work from home day as part of your flexible work arrangement, so I really appreciate you making the time to join us. So thanks for that. So as you may be aware, as part of our ongoing commitment to providing accessible cinema experiences for all customers, Event Cinemas is implementing a best practice guide for accessible cinema technology. This best practice guide has been developed to enhance our existing procedures related to the storage and maintenance of accessible cinema technology and increase our team's confidence in assisting customers with vision or hearing impairments. What I'm going to do today is to walk you through the Accessible Cinema Technology Best Practice Guide. And for your location, you've been selected as the trial location ahead of the national rollout. And it's designed to support a consistent, confident, and inclusive customer experience. So does that context and intent make sense before we go any further?
Yeah, framing it around accessibility and confidence makes the purpose really clear. Thank you, Jess.
It also helps to position it as an enhancement and not just a change for the sake of it.
Yeah, I agree. And from a technical perspective, consistency is really going to help. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So this is a simple, easy to follow resource. It's designed to support team members and not to overwhelm them. The guide brings together existing expectations, provides clear best practice examples, and is supported by SOPs, posters, talking notes, registers, and on-the-job coaching. Teams aren't expected to remember everything. They're expected to use the resources that we've provided. Do we have any questions on this before we go any further?
No, all good from me.
No, all clear for me too.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. So before we really get started and really take a deeper dive into what's happening, there's one other really important point that I just wanted to call out, and it's about how we communicate this guide, not just what's in it. When we roll this out, we need to do it in a way that is respectful, inclusive, and mindful that people learn and understand information in different ways. Some team members will be confident straight away, and as you've probably experienced, others may take a little more time. They might require a bit of repetition or hands-on coaching, and that's completely okay. The expectation that questions are welcomed, feedback is received openly, and no one feels uncomfortable asking for help. We need to be clear with our expectations. When expectations aren't clear or support isn't consistent, it may lead to technology not being available or operational when needed by our customers. Team members might even avoid assisting customers because they feel unsure and unconfident. Customers with accessibility requirements receiving an inconsistent or lesser experience. And that's why clarity, consistency, and confidence are so important in this rollout. As leaders, it's not just about delivering the message, it's also about creating a safe, supportive environment for teams to use it. I just wanted to clarify our roles and responsibilities in this rollout for your location and for myself more generally in the national rollout. And because the clarity here is critical, and it's the same clarity you'll be expected to provide for your teams as well. My role as Area General Manager is to communicate the best practice guide to you all and ensure you, our leaders, are aligned before cascading the information out further to your teams. I'm also here to set the expectation that feedback is absolutely encouraged and received warmly and considered openly. Is there any questions on my role in this process?
No, that accountability is really clear.
Okay, thanks, Jenny. Tierney, as General Manager, you're accountable for ensuring the guide is rolled out effectively at your location. And so this will include communicating the guide to your duty managers, ensuring relevant team members are briefed, trained and supported, reinforcing that accessibility matters and that EVT, everybody belongs, encouraging and receiving feedback openly, ensuring acknowledgements of understanding are completed after the training. This will be done through both verbal briefings and written follow-up. How does that land for you operationally?
Yeah, that's clear. So the key for me is I'll be reinforcing it through coaching and not just sending on the information.
Yep, exactly. Leadership presence will make the difference here. And so Renee, as the assistant manager of the location, your role is focused on the frontline execution. You're responsible for communicating information to supervisors and team members, supporting supervisors with shift briefings and coaching, ensuring briefings happen consistently, especially early on, observing how the guide lands on the floor and feeding back themes and any feedback. What do you think at this early stage your teams will need the most support with?
I think it's going to be around their confidence, the confidence in explaining the devices and knowing that they've selected the right one for our customers.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the guide and the posters are designed to support. So Prakash, for your role as cinema technician at the location, you will be responsible for supporting Tioni with the implementation, ensuring correct storage and ongoing maintenance, supporting Renee as information is cascaded out, and providing guidance on charging first in, first out batteries, and then the escalation process. What's the key message you want teams to remember?
Just really early escalation. If something isn't right or a piece of equipment's not working, just raise it early so that it doesn't impact, multiple customers.
Yep, absolutely. Totally agree with that. So now we're going to have a look at the guide itself and go through the different sections. Now, I think early today, if you've all got it, I sent you an email with a copy of the guide so that you can follow along. Some of you may have printed it out in order to take notes, and some of you may prefer to follow along on your screen. Either way is totally fine, up to you. But we'll just get into it now. So starting with section 1, this is about the setup and storage. The core principle here is centralized accessible storage. The devices should be stored back of house and wall mounted in one central location close to a power source and accessible without having to seek a duty manager for assistance in gaining access. This ensures customers requesting accessible technology are supported promptly and confidently. Tioni, does your current setup align with this?
We will need to relocate some devices out of projection, but it's manageable and it all makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. This section also covers battery storage, disposal, the charging protocol poster, and the FIFO principle first in, first out, ensuring devices are issued with maximum charge. It speaks also to the batteries that are required, as well as links to where you can purchase these.
I think the FIFO will really help with the protecting the battery life, so that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then section 2, if you want to move on to section 2, this covers the equipment station poster, which reinforces service standards. Section 3 is the cinema number matrix, showing which cinemas support which technologies. Section 4 is the device register, supporting accountability within retaining customer identification. And that's it for the guide. There will be supportive documents as well, which I will send through shortly after this meeting. The resources that we have available is the best practice guide itself, a standing operating procedure with an acknowledgement of understanding, talking notes to support delivering the message to our teams across all levels of the business, posters for the equipment station, charging protocol and the cinema matrix, a register device, and the charging and battery protocols. They'll also have on-the-job coaching, cinema technician support, feedback channels including SurveyMonkey, which we'll use to gather feedback to make tweaks prior to the wider rollout nationally. This project is absolutely not just a tick and flick rollout. So to recap, this guide supports accessible cinema experiences for all customers. It's a simple, practical resource. Roles and accountability are clearly defined, but please let me know if you'd like any clarification at all. Our teams will be supported with tools, training and coaching, and this is designed to make their jobs easier. Feedback is absolutely encouraged and will shape the national rollout. If teams pause, check a resource and then ask a question, that is absolutely success. So thanks everybody for joining me. The discussion today has been really great. I'm really excited about this rollout. There is a lot of information that we've covered today and it's a lot to digest. As I said, I'll share the supporting resources shortly after via email and give you some time to review the guide and resources and then set up another follow-up meeting for us all next week for a final check-in prior to going live with the rollout at your location. If in doubt, please pause, check the guide and ask me any questions. I'm absolutely here to help with anything. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you, Jess.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thanks very
Thank you, bye.
much. See you
See you.
later. Bye.